Welcome back to Caelesti. This is version 0.10 of all the packs update. This will be beta 10 or the 10th beta release or whatever you want to call it. And today marks the 10th episode of Caelesti. So thank you for watching all the content so far. If you have, if you've just tuned in for the first time, then I do like to welcome you to the channel. Yeah, we're going to go over some more stuff today. Resource pack things, of course. So yeah, first of all, staring you in the face right there from the start, we had the brand new Jukebox model. Now, I've been wanting to make this model for a long time. I had this idea quite a while ago when I first discovered that the block states for the Jukebox are basically just kind of if it has a music disc or not. Minecraft has a lot of features that can be abused like that, or not really abused, but taken advantage of, I guess you could say. For example, the Jukebox has two entirely independent states called has record. You can see it on the top kind of, well, I guess the middle right of the screen here. You can see has record is set to false. Now you can actually differentiate the entire model and texture and everything based off of that one value. So now you can see if we get one of our records and put it in here, it's going to change to like have a closed lid. The needle swings out and goes onto the record, and the record is in there spinning round very slowly, as you can see. So yeah, it's good. It's a record player. It's so cool. Yeah, we are still yet to do some lang file things, and I'm going to get onto that just after talking about the records in a little bit. But yeah, this is the new model for the Jukebox. If you're wondering about rotation, unfortunately, the rotation with a block like this is difficult because obviously this isn't a rotational block. You can only place this block in one go. Obviously, with things like logs, for example, you can rotate logs round. So I can place one that way, or I can place it that way, or I can place it that way. Or, you know, you can place certain blocks in different orientations. But with the Jukebox, there's only this one orientation that you can actually do. So to counteract that, when you place your Jukebox down, it will have a random orientation, as you can see here. So you'll kind of want to figure out where you want to lay out your house or your room or whatever based around the Jukebox. Because you might come to put it against the wall, and then it's facing the wrong way like that. That was complete chance. I'm really glad that worked out. So basically, place your Jukebox down early and find a good spot for it because the rotation will be random based on where you put it. It's annoying that this is kind of what we have to do, but this is the best solution given the tools we have to work with. So there you go. So yeah, moving onwards, we have the records, music records. Now, some of you will immediately think, why have you just taken the style record and put it in all of them? No, this is every record now. Every single record uses the same texture, and there is a reason for this. Obviously, with the Jukebox right there, as you can see, the record that's inside is this kind of simple black and grey disc. Now, unfortunately, I cannot differentiate which record is in the Jukebox at any one time. There is only a texture for if it has a record. Now, this is good because it means that we can add new records using data packs and things like that, but it's bad because it means that all the records have to be the same color. Now, the way I'm planning on counteracting this is by making it so that their names all reflect their original color. So, for example, for 13, I believe 13 is like a yellowy gold color, so it will be record, and the word record will be like gold, and it will say C41813 underneath, obviously. And then for this one, which is cat, I believe cat is green, I think. You can see now I'm going to add the colors because I'm not entirely sure what they are. But yeah, obviously where it says record, that will be green, or where it says cat, it will be green, or whatever else. You guys can have any input on that if you like, but I am going to change all of the naming conventions for the records to use that. And I'm also going to change the naming convention for the Jukebox to be called a record player as opposed to a Jukebox, because it now literally is a record player. Like, exactly. I think it looks really good. Some of you are asking why there is a black bar at the bottom. There just is. I just like it, so deal with it. So, yeah. I just think it looks nice. It just improves the whole look. I don't know. Leave me alone. Anyway, I've also re-added the name tags from Skr. A name tag now by default will be blank, as you can see. If I look for a name tag in the inventory, that is how a name tag will look. And it will actually not have any writing on it until you give it a name. For example, Harry, as you can see there. Now, this is a really, in my opinion, this is the only valid use of CIT in Optifine. Some of you will know there is a feature in Optifine that allows you to give tools and armor and everything else different textures based on what it's called. Now, name tags have an entirely new thing where as long as they have a single letter of any description, then it will have a new texture, which is the actual name tag texture. So I can name it anything. So I can actually name it nothing, which is, oh no, it'll just stay as E, won't it? F? E. That's cool. So if I type out a word and then delete it, it will just keep the last, will that? Hey, look, see, it's called H now. That's so cool. That's really weird. I never knew that. Well, there you go. So anyway, if you type any sort of wording onto a name tag whatsoever, it will get this texture. And that is very simple. It just uses a simple syntax which says if the name has anything, then do this. That's all it is. So the name tag will look like this by default, and then when you add a name to it, it will look like this. So a little cool feature for the name tag there. Obsidian has been reworked. I originally added Obsidian from Skur as a placeholder for the Obsidian texture. Obviously, the Obsidian in Skur wasn't Jappa. It was very close to Jappa, but it wasn't. And I did really like the old Obsidian texture, but the simple reality is it wasn't Jappa. So I've simply gone over the Obsidian texture once again, and now it is correct Jappa. It only contains 6 colors that are all differentiated quite nicely, and you can see the resulting texture is actually really nice. I actually really like the new Obsidian. I prefer it to the Skur Obsidian considerably. I think it looks really good. And of course, alongside the Obsidian, we have a new enchanting table, which uses a similar kind of texturing for the Obsidian. It uses a similar kind of texturing for the diamonds, and also a nice Jappa-esque red thing over the top of the book, over the top of the table where the book thing is. I think it looks good. So, yeah. I think it looks really nice. Cool little enchanting table for you there. A little showcase as well of the Obsidian. We have a Nether Portal here. You may have already noticed the Nether Portal texture itself has actually changed quite drastically. I have put a lot of effort into making this entirely new Nether Portal texture, and it's very, very simple, but it's really subtle, but I really like it. You will notice there that there are actually 3 aspects to this. First of all, well, you'll only be able to see 2 of them here, but I'll explain all 4. All 4? All 3. So, yeah, first of all, you will see that the portal itself, the texture now actually is consisting of these kind of swirls that come from the corners of the blocks. So, of course, if you just look at the middle of the texture there, you can see that there's sort of like spirals in the 4 directions there. And then it also tailors off to a darker purple edge, as you can see. So when it gets close to the Obsidian, it will become much darker. Now, I will admit, one thing that I didn't really think about, because I build all my portals as 3x3s, because I just like working in odd numbers because it's so much easier in Minecraft. If you build a portal with only 2 wide, it will look a bit crap, as I will demonstrate just here. So as a portal, and make it lit, and yeah, so the kind of fading off to the side bit doesn't really work when it's 2x2, because you don't really... I mean, you can still see 2 spirals. There's 2 spirals there, as you can see. But it's not nearly as good as building it 3x3. So the conclusion of this is just build your portals 3x3 and they will look far prettier. So there you go. And yet another showcase of the Obsidian as well. We also have an enchanting table here, and the Obsidian is going down into this little lava pit. I really like this effect. I think it looks really good for enchanting tables. Anything else you can see here? I hope not, because that's kind of what I was going for. So bookshelves now have 32 random variants that have all been completely randomly generated. This was a neat idea I've been wanting to try for a while, but all I did was I separated the bookshelf into its base texture with no books, and then I took the original books, of which I believe there were 16, and then added 4 more, which were recolorations and new shapes and everything else, and then simply ran a randomized value, so basically give me a random value between 1 and 20, and then picked out each book from the selection of 20, and built up every single bookshelf individually using complete random number generation. And I think it looks really, really good. Not every single bookshelf variant is here. In fact, very few of them are here. But already you can see, you can't really tell. Like it looks like vanilla bookshelves because they're all just random. I think it looks really, really good. I've seen a lot of people try and do random variants of bookshelves with things like, a single empty slot on the bookshelf, or like a cobweb in the corner, or a skull. And I think it just really breaks up the way it looks. I'm not a massive fan. I don't like the idea that when you place the bookshelf down, it no longer looks like a bookshelf, but more like a shelf with random shit on it. I prefer this a lot. I think this looks much better because you can place all these bookshelves down, and if you have a massive stack of bookshelves, they just look really good. Like, you just have all these different random books, and I think they look really, really nice. So we're not going to have CTM for bookshelves in Caelesti. We're going to have this random variation system. And in the end, what I'm going to do is I'm effectively just going to try and add as many variants to the bookshelves now going forward in every update as we can. So, for example, there are 32 in this update, 32 variants of the bookshelf texture. In future versions, I'm probably going to add like 4 new variants every time. So in beta update 11 there will be 36 variants of bookshelf, and in beta 12 there will be 40 variants of the bookshelf. And if you actually go into the files there, you can see the little page that I've been using to generate the random bookshelves. It's very simple. It's just 20 books and the blank texture, and I just drag them in, and that's it. That's all it is to it. It's really cool. It's completely vanilla. It's not using Optifine at all, so you don't even need Optifine installed to experience these cool randomized bookshelves. I think they look really neat. It's really cool. Returning from Skur, we also have bright orange fire. Now you can see there a perfect example. Actually, the particles haven't been updated yet. yeah, the whole point of this section is I am now going to convert all of the fire textures in Caelesti to this kind of goldeny orange yellow texture as opposed to the very vivid red color that is in vanilla Minecraft, as I have done in Skr. I just really prefer the aesthetic of having this more yellowy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a more cartoonish fire, I guess, isn't it? But yeah, I just think it looks better. So we're going to be converting all the fire to this kind of fire. That means the torch, it means the particles that you get in like a dungeon spawner, it means furnaces, it means smokers, it means blasting furnaces, it means a lot of things. So similar to how I'm converting all of the gold things to the new gold palette, and I'm converting all of the bricks to the new brick system that we have over there, and how I'm converting loads of other things to a unique system, adding to that list now is the fire as well. So fire is all going to be this kind of golden yellow orange color as opposed to the very orangey red color that you get in vanilla Minecraft. And finally, last thing for this update, got a shorter video for you guys today. Too many 20-minute videos recently, so we've got a simple one today. We have new textures for granite, diorite, and andesite. Obviously, I spent a lot of time in this world. I was working on some redstone stuff over here the other day. I had this built out of andesite because I like using andesite for building. It's a little double piston extender. It's just nice. It's using this old concept that I used to really like, where we have a 3x3 slime door, and it just pushes out, pulls in, really simple slime door, really, really cool. And I thought, hang on, you could use this with honey, because I haven't played with honey yet. So I was like, hey, that's really cool. And now we can have this bigger door. So yeah, so I was playing around with that, and I was building it out of andesite, and I just decided that I really didn't like the andesite texture. I was like, nah, it's not good. And then I came back over, and I looked at the other ones, and they just looked wrong. So I decided to just rebuild all three of these from the ground up. You can see they look a little bit closer to their vanilla counterpart now, especially granite with the kind of individual pebble textures in there, which I do quite like as well. Diorite is still very clean and very white, which I really do like. Obviously, andesite is still very grey and more just like a smoother version of stone bricks in this big tile format as opposed to the individual bricks. And I just think they look nicer. I'm not 100% sure on these yet. Honestly, I think a problem that's become really apparent with this actually is my art style is changing a lot. Like, every single time I make new textures in this pack at the moment, my art style changes. It's really strange. I obviously had like an art style going for the prismarine and the endstone bricks, and then when I started doing things like the granite and everything else, that was kind of new again, because I redid the granite last time, and now it's like more random and less Jappa. This isn't Jappa at all. This is completely like almost completely random. Obviously, the grass that we showcased last time was random noise generation. So my art style is changing all the time, which is kind of annoying, but we will get there. I'm probably going to end up coming back and changing a lot of textures in the future, just because I'm not happy with them now. Like, I would have been happy with them at the time, but now everything's changed and it's different. So yeah, you can expect to see more changes coming in the future. But for now, this is kind of the only thing we've got. We've just got this granite, diorite, and andesite texture that have changed over. So yeah. So anyway, next time we are going to be getting on to some more interesting things. I'm thinking some color map and light map stuff. I think I said that last time as well, actually. I think I said we would do that in this episode, but then I just didn't, so yeah. But yeah, next time we're going to get onto some more interesting things. The color map and light map aspect of Skr was actually a really popular module, and I really enjoyed making it. It involved a lot of planning, a lot of research, a lot of validation, like what spawns in what biome, what can be manipulated, how do things look in real life, is the color actually right? It's a pain to get working properly, but it's all worth it, because it looks amazing when it's done. So yeah, I'm going to get some world edit installed in here. I'm going to get a big grid of all the biomes, as I have done in the past, and we're going to go through and assign a new color to every single biome for oak trees, spruce trees, birch trees, jungle trees, acacia, dark oak, every type of grass, maybe even flowers, maybe even blocks, maybe even dirt. And yeah, as you can tell already, I have loads of ideas, so it's going to be really fun. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little update for Caelesti. As usual, if you are interested in downloading the new textures from today's updates, you'll be able to find the updates in my Discord server in the announcements channel. I'm probably going to be switching to uploading these things to CurseForge pretty soon, but for the time being, before we've got any like bulky sound files in here, then we should still be good to go with just Discord uploads for now. So yeah, any suggestions as usual, please do leave them in the comments below, and please remember to like, subscribe, donate to my Patreon, follow me on Duolingo, send me money in the post if you can. Donate to my PayPal balance, that would be good. My bank details are in the description below. You can just transfer me money if you feel like it. Yeah, thanks, bye.